Let me go wash my face. I'm a little oily. Give me a sec. Is Wiz live right now? Is there off? Bro, drink. Wait, is Wiz live right now? Did I drink the assassin potion? Wait, is he live? Yeah, well, shit. What? What a coincidence. That was not planned at all. Oh, shit. No, wait, no, Frios. Is he live? Damn, I feel bad. Hold up. Wait, all jokes aside, is he actually live? I fucked up. Dude. I was like, I was going to read a little bit more of ROV, because I know Milosh was bringing it up. I was like, I want to read a little bit more Lord of Mysteries. Because I only read like 25 chapters from Monday to Friday, and I'm like, I should read a little bit more. In about an hour and a half, I was going to go out with the missus. I mean, if that cancels, I think I'm going to keep going. He is live? Oh, shit. Oh, you guys are probably at some crazy shit with him then right now. He already finished volume 5, right? I assume he's on volume 6. God damn. That guy needs to chill. Somebody go tell him to take a month off. Let the ravings begin. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. No, you guys can go watch him. It's cool. My bad. Today was mostly just like my catch-up day. I was mostly just catching up, reading other stuff, just to kind of like mix it up, just so I'm not reading Lord of the Mysteries the whole time. Just like a little change of pace, and it was kind of fun. But now I'm gonna just read a little bit more Lord of the Mysteries. Sorry for assassinating him like that. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so I apologize. I think we did hit Wiz with the assassin attempt right there. My bad. Don't stop stream early purely because Wiz is live. Well, anyways, today we'll be reading more Lord of Mysteries. You do that often, no need. We're gonna be reading like 5 to 10 chapters. It's nothing too crazy. Just because I do need to be in bed in like about 2 to 3 hours, just so I can stick to my weekly sleep schedule. So I was like, oh, let me read a little bit more before bedtime. So for now, Lord of Mysteries, chapter 1017. We're going to keep a very short and sweet intro, and then we're just going to straight into it. I think just for time's sake, it's pretty last minute. Yeah, it's pretty last minute. I think for time's sake, I'm going to just keep Verso, the song from Expedition 33 on loop. And I think that's going to be about it. 10, we know you mean 3. 5, 10, we know you mean 3. No. It's gonna be like 5 to 10. Pinky promise. Go report to Wiz. Got to report to Wiz. No, don't report him. Don't report him. This is between you and me, guys. I know. I apologize. All right. Honorific time. The reader who stalls for eternity. The tamer of beasts and dogs. The one who farms. LOTM. Easy geeky. Bit loud, perhaps right now. Ooh. Okay. All right. Awesome. Good song. Awesome. Oh, if it's a bit loud, I can lower it. I know it's a little bit loud on my end. I got you. I don't want it too loud on my end as well. So I put it like this. I think this is good. Also, the Magoose neck should be coming in about 30 minutes to an hour. So it should be here soon. So we'll be able to check that out in a bit. I'm gonna do my timestamp. 1 minute, 18 seconds. Yeah, and if you guys can, man, check out the other videos I uploaded. If you guys are able to share them too. You know, like, comment, all that jazz. I guess it'll help. I'll help get the videos go out. Oh, the book cover art is back on screen. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I figured I put it back on. I'm not sure. I like it on, but I was like, I don't know if I should leave it on or off. I don't know. You guys let me know. I think I'm going to leave it on. Let me just kind of... Give me a second, kind of... Can this piece of shit just like... Give me a sec. Oh, perfect. Okay, awesome. All right, that's good. All right, I'll just leave it right there. Ooh, give me a sec. Just trying to adjust this, and then my playlist is gonna be back here. Then right here I can see stream if we're live or not. So if it crashes, I'll be able to tell. Music changes this stream. IDK, if I'm gonna stay for long though. Oh shit! If you can just put the name of the song right now, Cammy. I'm probably just gonna read like about 5 to 10 chapters. So I don't know if anything crazy is gonna happen, but you guys let me know, okay? All right, chapter 117. Chapter 1017 is called May Gur Manor, Backland Emperorsboro, on the outskirts towards the northwest. This was a place that needed more than an hour via horse carriage. Mayor Manor was built by the side of the Tussock River, so it had beautiful scenery around it with flourishing vegetation within its confines. Strangely enough, Backland City area had perennial rain with relatively few sunny days. However, in the outskirts, clouds tend to be thin, and the sun was always bright. Despite the short distance, the two places had completely different weather. It was most obvious within the northwestern outskirts. It was even a rather famous grape plantation in the northern continent, and by following the Tussock River from the region northwest for another 50 kilometers, one would encounter weather similar to Backland City area. Such situations left meteorologists puzzled. I cannot read that word for the life of me. Meteorologists puzzled. They couldn't find any suitable theories to explain the reason. However, Klein had a vague guess. In the fourth epoch, this was the capital of the Tudor Turnusset United Empire. It was also here that the Blood Emperor at least abandoned his humanity and became a crazy deity. Therefore, it was normal that the weather of the terrain had changed forever in those very small confines. Leonardo Mitchell had once again mentioned information about this during one of the free exchanges. Furthermore, as an area with a long history and signs of early human activity, this land of hope, buried content, ancient ruins, it was very possible that they could have an influence on the weather. The carriage drove into Mayor Manor, passing by the Fountain Pond and the small garden that was surrounded by the main building. Finally, it stopped outside of the main door. Just as Klein got out of the carriage with butler Walter, he saw the land steward Richardson lead 2 rows of male and female servants by the door awaiting their employer. Compared to 160 Buckland Street, there were more servants here than they were mainly lower class servants. Looking at Richardson wearing a spanking new suit, Klein nodded with a smile. Well done. Without waiting for Richardson to reply, he took off his hat and handed it along with his cane to his valet Uni, while asking, have you prepared the activity room for the ladies to chat and for men to play cards in? Yes, sir. I've placed poker, cards, tarot cards, and some board games. The piano, violin, and other common musical instruments have also been moved inside. Richardson answered eloquently. Klein passed through the door and nodded. Where is the smoking room for the gentlemen? Like the ladies, it's all on the second floor. They're separated by 5 rooms. Richardson didn't need the servants in a manner to remind him. Distributed the stream with some good moments. Really? Oh man. Oh, now I'm kind of worried, dude. He didn't even need to recall to give an answer to ensure that his employer first hunting excursion was flawless. He had taken note of every nitty-gritty detail. Although it exhausted him physically, he was excited mentally. Klein asked about dinner and the guest rooms and confirmed that everything was in place. Before long, he received the first batch of guests after Major Manor had a change of name, not known as Dante's Manor. Member of Parliament, Mosh, and his family. This place is much bigger than my Moose Manor. It's Moose, not Moe's Manor, right? Moose Manor. Mach took off his coat with a smile and handed it to the servant while praising. I've always heard of Major's wine being of excellent quality, but I've never had the chance of tasting it. I can finally have my curiosity satisfied today. I hope that you won't be disappointed. Klein smiled modestly. As a famous area from the grape plantations in the northern continent, champagne, red wine, and white wine were considered the finest in Backland's northwestern outskirts. I don't like drinking wine, man. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a fan of wine. But with the manor here mainly owned by the nobles, self-brewed alcoholic beverages were typically not sold to the public. Therefore, it was almost unheard of. Only people from high society or those related to them would often know of this. Manor was one of the most iconic manors. The wine that it brewed was widely praised by the people in the know. Red wine of certain years was even offered at more than £100 of a bottle by collectors. However, for Klein to be able to buy this manor for £20,000, he naturally had to agree to certain conditions. All the wine from certain years were to be taken away by Duke Negan's servant. Mosh was rather clear about this and didn't expect to drink famous commodities. He said with a laugh, you can open a few bottles and pour a small glass of each for me. Let me decide which of the remaining wine is most spectacular. As a member of high society, he had never even tasted the wine of Manor Manor. The reason was simple. He had a member of the new party, and the previous owner, Duke Negan, was the main sponsor of the Conservative Party. No problem. Klein immediately agreed as his gaze swept across Hazel's face. Compared to July and August, this girl had clearly cheered up. She no longer felt apprehensive when facing strangers. Previously, it was as bad as not willing to participate in any banquets or balls. This made those familiar with him think that she was sick, and this was all thanks to Audrey. Whenever she met Dwayne Dantes at the Low and Charity Bursey Foundation, she had mentioned that she had recently met Miss Hazel Mach twice. Such communication didn't seem problematic at first glance since Hazel was a common acquaintance of Audrey and Dantas. Finding a topic about a common friend with common and idle chatter, however, Klein could read Miss Justice's hints of understood that she had met Hazel twice at different balls and banquets and had treated her twice. After getting much finally setting in, Klein welcomed the second batch of guests for the weekend hunting trip. Brigadier General Conus Kilgore, who had come up with a friend that had previously mentioned. Klein knew this friend, but he didn't know Dwayne Tontis. He was a steam car mogul. Framing Cage, he was one of the main investors of the bicycle projects. He had relied on a lawyer suspected to be a beyonder with the lawyer sequence and had bought the... Oh, that was mentioned in volume 2. Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah. The other lawyer was mentioned like way back in volume 2. He had relied on lawyers suspected to be a beyonder with a lawyer sequence and had bought the 10% shares from Sherlock Moriarty at a cheap price. Since he related to a lawyer, it can be explained that he's an Earl of the Fallen Friends. Klein went forward with a smile and hugged Brigadier General Conus and Frammy Cage. Welcome. He then stepped back and said to the porty, light blue eyes Framus, who was a quarter Fasik, I heard your steam car is very famous. Why didn't you drive it over? Before Frammy could answer, the manly Conus Kilgore said with a smile, no, you don't understand him. He will never give up the chance to showcase his steam car. However, the car's too heavy. Didn't it kind of look like a tank? On the other, yo, what's up, dude? Mr. Phil? Yo, what's up, dude? What's up, guys? On the way here, it fell into a ditch and couldn't be pulled out. Thankfully, I never believed his claims and rode on a carriage myself, following behind him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had to cover the remaining distance on foot. The main problem is that our roads are terrible. They need to be reinvented and rebuilt. They need metal tracks to be paved, just like the steam locomotives. Framus retorted and threw his hands up. I was planning on seeking some investments from you. We can talk about it later. You were the one who invested in us previously, but now you're asking me for the investment. Only then did Klein realize that he was a rather famous tycoon in the upper class of the kingdom. He has donated shares worth more than 10,000 pounds and had purchased an expensive manor. He also established connections with the military, so it was an obvious he was rich. Damn. He's stacked. But in fact, my current net worth is only 50 to 60,000 gold only. 50 to 60,000 gold pounds, perhaps a tenth of Miss Justice's wealth. I wonder when I can really become a tycoon with a net worth of £1,000,000. Klein thought in self-deprecating manner. After some thought, he said, "It's fine. I'm very interested in the fusion of machinery and steam. When I'm free, I can take a look at your steam car. Yeah, I can take a look at your steam car." Speculator Framus immediately said with a smile, "If I didn't know that you had donated a large sum to the Church of the Evernight, I might even think of you as a believer of the God of Steam. I've drawn the triangular sacred emblem on my chest in the past after all." Klein didn't continue on this topic, afraid of the Kunis would discover his intentions. He pointed to the staircase and said, "Why don't you head to the smoking room and try some of the prized cigar collections here?" It wasn't until I bought this manor that I learned that there was a room specifically for storing cigars. Its temperature and humidity are maintained, but as you know, I can smoke, but I don't like it. Not bad. Do you have Chieftain? Conus Kilgore's face sufficed to smile. Of course, Klein gave a positive answer. There was only one goal in organizing this hunting trip. It was to hunt the Brigadier General, Deputy Director of MI9. Therefore, he had taken into consideration all his performances. However, Klein was in a hurry to take action for his hunting trip. This is because he still lacked an understanding of the Conus Kilgore's actual strength as a hidden demigod. Oh my god, I forgot he's a hidden demigod. Dwayne on his way to creating Steam F1 Trust. Hey man, now I find that really funny because I'm into F1. I understood that joke. He needs more gathering and hunts to figure out his preferences, level of alertness, and the items he brought with him. As a magician, Klein didn't perform unprepared. An apartment in Sherwood Borough, Force put down the book in her hand and looked up at Shio, who was pacing around the activity room. She couldn't help but ask, "What are you troubling about?" Shio shot her a glance and said, "I'm frustrated over whether to inform MI9 about Viscount Stratford's close relationship with an unknown woman, or to keep it from them until there's further development." We should probably report it. "Why are you keeping it from them?" Force first asked in return before giving her an answer. "Viscount Stratford is related to your father's death, but you normally lack the opportunity and strength to confront him. Afraid of being exposed and affecting your mother and brother, and now he might encounter an accident because of an unknown woman. He's in a relatively easy to deal with state. This is your opportunity, so you're being hesitant, right?" Shio fell silent for a moment before saying yes. Forrest closed the book, stared at her friend, and said in a serious manner, "Since you're hesitating, it means you're already inclined towards one option." Shio slowly nodded and said yes. Forrest fondled her slightly long curly hair and stood up, extended her right hand and said, "I already know your decision. Well, do you need help?" Seeing Shio hesitant to give an answer, she laughed and said, "I'm a Sequence 6 beyonder." Without waiting for Shio to answer, she looked around. "If you're worried we can still seek additional help," she was implying that they could get help from the members of the Terror Club. Shio thought about it and exhaled. Not for now. Let's try it first. Let's head out and continue monitoring Viscount Stratford." Now, Force was taken aback. All right, but before that, let me use the crystal ball to do some astronomy to confirm the level of danger. High danger, maybe? After some work, she held a pure crystal ball in one hand and said, there's a certain level of danger, but not severe danger. Okay, that's good to know. And then next chapter. Look at that. We're just going straight into the next chapter. 11 minutes, 7 seconds. And also, I might take a quick pause during stream when the Magoose neck comes in the mail. It should be here very soon. I think it's almost here. So we'll probably check in a bit. Let's do this. 118. Hold up. I fucked up. Give me a sec. I forgot to put emotional damage on the last Lord of Mysteries video. Give me a sec. Let me just put emotional damage. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. This one was emotional damage, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I didn't put a timestamp between... I fucked up. I didn't put a timestamp between... Oh, I messed up my timestamp. Give me a sec. So how far is everybody doing? We're going neck. You can explain Magoose neck. I asked earlier but didn't see. Oh no. I bought a like a mic stand. I just bought. It's like it's called a gooseneck. Yeah, it's called a gooseneck. So there's like, it's like bendable. I fucked up. Wasn't the last time I read it? We were gonna title it emotional damage. Yeah. Why am I putting Emlyn and Merrick? They were in it. But this was emotional damage. Yeah, I fucked up. Hold up. We went back to Blackthorn Security damage. We went back to Blackthorn Security Company. Emotional damage. The emotional damage. Just emotional damage. I think emotional damage is fine. Yeah, I fucked up. Emotional damage. Okay. I'm gonna change the profile picture. I'm gonna change the cover later. I forgot to add Melissa on the cover. So I'm gonna have to add her. How's the lighting, by the way? I think it looks pretty good. Right? It looks good. I turned on this light and I turned on this light. And then the light in the background kind of illuminating things. So I think it's good. So it should look hopefully a little bit better. Alright, next chapter. Going straight into it. Chapter 1018 is called Unexpected. Just like the stream, very unexpected. So I apologize, especially for the double ravings. Emperor's board by the side of Viscount Stratford's mansion, Forrest and Shio, who were dressed in black dresses, hid in a dark corner. They stared intently at the tightly closed metal gates as they patiently waited for their target to appear. It wasn't raining tonight, so they didn't have to face harsh weather conditions. The carriage that remained parked by the side of the street lamps made it clear to them that their patience would be rewarded. It was only a matter of time. Lighting's pretty good, yeah? Awesome. After an unknown period of time, the gates produced a heavy metal groans as they slowly opened. A figure in a black cloak appeared with its head bowed. The figure walked to the side of the carriage and nimbly boarded the carriage. Is that her? Force lowered her voice and asked. She didn't have a beyond her power that could restore a target's characteristic for a mere description, and she had never seen her before. Therefore, she couldn't rely on her spiritual intuition or astronomy to make a judgment. Shio nodded in affirmation and said yes. As they quietly conversed, the rental carriage sped up and left the side gates. Shio immediately left her hiding spot, prepared to use her shares beyond her powers and the physical enhancement that being an interrogator gave her to lock onto her target while jogging. I need a picture. I can't picture that. She's just jogging. What are you doing? At that moment, Force pressed down on her shoulder, folding her plans. Tracker, Shio looked at the back of her friend in puzzlement. Doing good and mysterious? Force looked at the rental carriage that hadn't completely pulled away for them and asked thoughtfully, why are you tracking her for? Also, didn't you say that the target has a rather powerful beyonder protecting her once you enter the Backland Bridge area? That's right. She'll first answer the second question before saying, your question is very odd. The reason you track someone is to determine the target's appearance, identity, and motives. Force retracted her left hand from Shio's shoulder and revealed a smile. Since the target is protected by a rather powerful beyonder, it will be difficult for us to complete the tracking in the Backland Bridge area. We won't be able to find her resistance and figure out her true identity. Do you wish to directly fight her guardian? Although you have me to help, are you certain about the person's strength? How certain are you? Will it be very dangerous? Besides, once the battle begins, it will definitely alarm the target. This is the same as stopping the carriage midway and confronting her directly. It will foil your primary objective. It will alarm Viscount Stratford and prevent him from falling into a predicament that will offer you a chance to take action. If we do it, then there's a possibility of failure, but a failure is certain if we do nothing. Shio emphasized that she knew the situation well. All she wanted was to make an attempt and find an opportunity midway. At this moment, the rental carriage had already turned into another street at the end of the road. Forrest watched with the back of the gradually disappear as she shook her head and smiled. No, no, no. We need to change our way of thinking. We should first attempt to figure out the target's appearance. After daybreak, we can use her appearance to perform normal investigations of Backland Bridge area and then obtain information from other channels. Your choice of words is very professional, Shield said in thought. Music change when she enters the carriage. Vanitas? When she enters the carriage. Of course, Vanitas carriage. Vanitas carriage. Got it. I can't even look it up right now. I got you. Thank you, Kemi. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Carriage music change. I got you. I got you. All right. I got you. I got you. Music change when we enter. Of course, I've written detector knowledge before. Forrest answered without any sense of mobility, but how do I figure out what the target looks like without alerting her? She raised the most critical question. And I already have the music ready. Prepared, Forrest took out layman's travels instead of a small elementary, using the psychological invisibility Miss Justice recorded. Although Audrey didn't encounter any situations that require her to use layman's travels, she had rented it thrice out of curiosity. She studied the uses of traits of the Beyond Her Powers recorded, and she recorded her own Beyond Her Powers into it. This included the rather useful psychological invisibility. So not only do assassins have invisibility, but spectators have invisibility. I find that cool. I'm trying to remember what else has invisibility. As for her true identity, she and Forrest were increasingly certain of it, but they didn't directly ask about further investigations. That was the most basic form of respect. I didn't skip something, right? No, I didn't. That was the most basic form of respect towards the other Terror Club members. After hearing her friend's answer, Shio came to realization and was instantly inspired. They have psychological invisibility. Got it. You know, I remember it's like they don't even like sense them. And also how you can like also manipulate their minds. That's fucking scary, dude. I can't get over that. Spectre has well, it's like not true invisibility, but like psychological invisibility. But it's kind of still invisibility, give or take, but in like a different sense. Forrest continued, by using the Beyond Her Powers on this page, but no, I get you guys, thank you. By using the Beyond Her Powers on this page, you will be placed in the sensory blind spots of all surrounding creatures. They wouldn't be able to see you even if they were to jump around in front of them. Oh, she's gonna go into carriage. That way you can directly board the carriage and stand in front of the target, openly taking in her appearance and remember all her traits. I sometimes think about people who use psychological invisibility might end up being squashed to death by huge creatures that happen to walk past if they're unlucky. Yeah, that's a little unlucky. What's up, bro? Oh, what's up? Hello. Don't make too much noise later. Don't speak to any nearby creatures or else you will garner attention. Let psychological invisibility be dispelled automatically. Yeah, Shio nodded. Wait, let it be dispelled automatically? Yeah, Shio nodded. She then raised another issue. How do I prevent the target from discovering the sudden opening of the carriage door while it's driving? Without waiting for Forrest to reply, she merely pressed, did you record the door opening Beyond Her Powers? Guess. Forrest smiled as she handed layman's travels to her friend, telling her which page the psychological invisibility and door opening were on. Damn, what a good friend, dude. With this in mind, Shio immediately ran amidst the shadows, chasing after the rental carriage. Before long, she saw her target. Her right hand immediately trembled as she made the bronze green notebook reveal a yellowish-brown goatskin page. She slid her fingers gently as Shio seemed to see countless rippling lights appear on the surface of a deep lake spread outwards. This is good. We'll see you next stream. No, it's all good, bro. You want to sleep? No, it's all good, bro. I know it's a very last-minute stream. I know it's also getting pretty late on my end. Spread outwards. When her vision returned to normal, she sped up and rushed to the side of the carriage. To ensure nothing went wrong, Shield didn't immediately take action. With few wide strides, she overtook the horse. She then turned around as though she was crossing the road. However, the carriage driver didn't notice her, nor did her shout at her to rein in the horse. After confirming the effects of psychological invisibility, she sped up and dodged the horse galloping and came to the side of the carriage. After a brief observation, she flipped through layman's travels and revealed a white page covered in white strange patterns and symbols. Then she reached out her right hand and pressed onto its surface of the carriage. Her figure instantly turned transparent and she appeared inside. All right, she's inside. Music change. I know. Music change. I got it. Let's loop this. Give me a sec. Let me just loop the song. Song is looped. All right, I'm going to lower it on my end. I think it's fine. She called me as I'm streaming. Give me a sec. I gotta talk to her. She's gonna get mad. 1 sec. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right, we're good. She jumped into the carriage. Where was it? She appeared inside. We meet again, username. We meet again. So she appeared. Her figure instantly turned transparent. She appeared inside. The woman in the black coat was sitting diagonally opposite her as she was in thought, staring at the glass window where Shio stood. However, she didn't notice the bounty hunter who had suddenly infiltrated. At such a close distance, even with her cloak lowered, she was able to see her face clearly. Furthermore, the woman wasn't as careful as she was while walking outside. Her every action appeared rather casual as the hood was only at her eyes. Instantly, her appearance was reflected in Shio's eyes, overlapping with a face that still had some male characteristics. This was beyond the power of a sheriff. Oh, so she can identify it. Right? Shio's eyes widened. She couldn't help but shout, Sherman. She couldn't foresee that the woman... Oh, wait. She knew Sherman. Right? She met Sherman when she was with Audrey at one point. With Audrey and Fours. She could foresee that the woman who often entered Viscount Stratford's residence was rather beautiful, but she never expected the woman to be her friend Sherman. He was once a young man. Yeah, she knew her. Yeah, she knew him. Well, she knew Shermaine when she was Sherman. Yeah. A man who wasn't considered androgynous now looked beautiful. He had the charm of a woman, and at that moment, Shio couldn't help but size up Sherman. She couldn't associate her figure with that young man that she used to know with each other. I forgot they knew each other. If it wasn't for her sheriff beyond her powers that allowed her to confirm that the person opposite to her was Sherman, Shio definitely would have imagined that she had made a mistake. And even so, she still suspected whether the person wasn't Sherman and was instead Sherman's twin sister. I remember we thought that for Trissy. I was like, wait, are they twins? Upon hearing the surprise question, Sherman realized that there was another person in the carriage at some point in time, someone unfamiliar. Oh. Okay, bounty hunter Shio Derecha, having already changed her name to Shermaine, she was first alarmed, but the words Trissy often mentioned instinctively appeared in her mind. You cannot meet people you used to know. Do you want your husband you believe to know of your former state? Only by completely serving your connections can you be reborn. Doing so in order to save yourself. Such words quickly flashed across Shermaine's mind as a terrifying thought emerged in her. Oh, fuck you, no. As a terrifying thought emerged in her, thoughts kill her? This thought seemed to come from a demon in the abyss as it constantly whispered in Shermaine's ear as it resounded in her heart. Kill her. Kill this person who recognized you. Only by doing so can you truly escape the past and not lose to the present. Kill her. Shermaine didn't answer Shio's question. Her left hand slowly clenched up while slightly trembling. Shio sensed the tense emotions running through the mind opposite her and confirmed that it was Sherman. Immediately she asked in turn, how did you become like this? Oh, hell. Don't fucking kill. Hell no, dude. Where have you been all this time? Did you encounter something? Were you hurt? Shermaine's lips quivered as her left fist relaxed a little. She said with a sobbing tone, I've already begun a new life. Don't disturb me again, all right? I don't want to lose everything I have now. I don't want to see people that I knew in the past. The more she spoke, the faster it became more obvious that it was a plea. She was taken aback for a few seconds before staring at Sherman. Pursing her lips, she said, okay. She didn't say any... Oh, because they're friends. It's like, you go, please. Don't make me kill you. She didn't stay any longer, reached out to open a carriage window and jumped out. Shermaine silently watched this entire process and finally exhaled before she slumped into her seat like she had lost all her strength. I love this arc. It's good, dude. It wasn't easy for her to control the demon in her heart. At this moment, she saw a figure rapidly outline itself out of thin air beside her. The figure wore a black, old-fashioned dress, but it didn't diminish her beauty and disposition. Black dress. It's not Sharon. It wouldn't make sense that it's Sharon. She sat there silently without a word. Is it? But it... Oh, fucking shit. But it was impossible to not look at her. Fuck. Demoness Trissy. You want to join the Tarot Club? You don't have to kill her. Why didn't you kill her? Oh, no. No. Fuck you. Really? No, it's not going to happen. Trissy asked with a smile, not revealing any gloominess. It was like an idle chat with her would ask what she had drunk the previous night. She's one of the few people who didn't ostracize me. She even helped me. Shermaine replied in shock before frowning. Why are you here? Trissy smiled and said, I am protecting you. Without waiting for Shermaine's answer, she said, you seemed to be in a good mood when you came out. Shermaine recalled what had happened and bashfully said, maybe perhaps I have a chance of becoming a mother. As she spoke, she touched her stomach with her... No fucking way she's pregnant. Recalled what had happened and bashfully said, maybe perhaps I have a chance of becoming a mother. As she spoke, she touched her stomach with her right hand. The corners of her lips couldn't help but curl up. I feel... Oh, next music? Oh, shit. No need for me to stay for them? Okay. Oh, shit. I didn't know it's 4 a.m. I'm so sorry. No fucking way. I feel... Oh, Shermaine is so fucking dead. I feel him kicking me. This has to be part of Trissy's plan. Charmaine suddenly froze and blurted, "How could it be so fast?" Oh, no, dude. Oh, it's not a regular baby. Oh, hell no. I feel him kicking me. No fucking way, but she just became a woman. How the fuck does that make any sense? We literally skipped a trimester. How does that make any sense? Charmaine suddenly froze and blurted, "How could it be so fast?" She wasn't sure if she could get pregnant today. Upon seeing her reaction, Trisha smiled even more charmingly. Oh, hell no. Babies are always scary. Oh, hell no, man. Oh, man. Then the next 10 years, some of us are going to become parents, and it's going to be kind of scary, man. Like, oh, hell no. Oh, shit. Chapter 1019, brothers and sisters. Next chapter, dude. Let's fucking keep going. Timestamp. 22 minutes and 39 seconds. All right. Oh, hell no, man. That's scary, dude. All right. We're going straight into it. All right, chapter 1019 is called Patience, my young Padawan. Oh, hell no. Which god spawn are you? That's what I want to know. It has to be part of Demoness. Maybe it's Cheek in some way. Like, maybe, you know how they were trying to set up Tricia as a vessel? Maybe she was able to... Oh, maybe she was able to channel her vessel to Charmaine in some way. How was it? Did you take a good look? I didn't pause. Everything's updated, correct? Yes. Okay, we're good. How was it? Did you take a good look? Just as Forrest left the streets where Viscount Stratford mansion was, she saw Shio walk out of a down and vacant expression. Shio nodded hesitantly. I did. Having said that, she seemed to come to her senses and said in shock, I know her, know him. Him, Forrest was confused. Shio habitually observed her surroundings before saying, he's Sherman, the Sherman I told you about. He actually became a woman. Forrest was stunned as she subconsciously asked, were you mistaken? Hell no. Or it could be a phantom pregnancy? I don't know, man. Wait, have we seen a phantom pregnancy? I don't think we have, no? Or it's like a spirit? Could she be Sherman's sister? She firmly shook her head. So, no, she admitted it herself and even told me not to disturb her. She wants to bid farewell to her past, but how did he become a woman? Forrest's eyes darted around as she suddenly recalled something she said and thought, it's not impossible either. There's a beyond a pathway that allows a man to become a woman at a certain stage. She recalled Miss Justice mentioning something similar during a free exchange session. I don't think we saw it. Ah, really? She'll widen as she asked in disbelief. Yes. Forrest had already recalled the exact conditions and gave a rather confident answer. Yeah, like, if we can do a freaking ritual for a god to descend, or, like, have a god spawn, or, like, a god seed in it, I don't know. Maybe it could also be a spirit. This Shio was momentarily unable to accept it, but she couldn't find a rebuttal. All she could do was ask, which pathway is it? Forrest replied, Demoness. Ah, it's the assassin pathway. Demoness, Sherman actually became a demoness. Shio repeated to herself. Suddenly, her voice became louder. Could it be that she's been taken advantage of? No, I must warn her. Just as she said that, Shio turned around and ran with great strides in an attempt to catch up with the rental carriage again. However, she couldn't find the target after attempting to pursue it for a few blocks. Sherman and the carriage seemed to have disappeared into thin air. Shio gradually slowed down and finally stopped. She looked at the bustling streets ahead of her with a complicated expression. Behind her, Forrest passed through a few walls and finally caught up. Gone, Shio whispered. Forrest also cast her gaze forward and thoughtfully replied, we were discovered. Without waiting for Shio to speak, she also turned around and sighed. Let's return and find another opportunity. Shio didn't take a step forward as she continued standing there. After a few seconds, she said under Forrest's puzzled gaze, since they discovered a problem, will they speed up the plans ahead of time? Maybe. It's possible. If they don't wish for their plans to be full, they might attempt one final strike tonight before we're prepared. Forrest immediately agreed with Shio. Let's return to the Viscount Stratford's place and hide in a more concealed spot. We'll continue monitoring it. Shio immediately nodded and replied without any hesitation. Okay. In the dock area inside a warehouse with plenty of goods, Charmaine was sitting on a dirty wooden crate. Her hands were crossed behind her back as her body had thin but firm spider webs coiled around her. Oh, what the fuck? She appeared as though she was encased in it. Oh, wait. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know, man. Wait. She appeared as though she was encased in a transparent cocoon. What the fuck? Unable to make a single sound. It's not a bad thing for you. Trissy stood in front of Charmaine with a pitch black flame that resembled ink burning in her palm. Oh, what the fuck, man. Now I feel bad for Charmaine, dude. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing for you. Trissy stood in front of Charmaine with a pitch black flame that resembled the ink burning in her palm. At the very least, you can determine if he really loves you or is lying to you. Charmaine was angry and afraid. She desperately used her whimpers to express her wish, but Trissy was unmoved. She turned her flame-wielding palm around and pressed it into Charmaine's stomach. The flames seemed to have intelligence as they scattered like flowing water. Following that, they penetrated her skin and flesh in an attempt to drill inside. Trissie's smooth black hair flared up in defiance of the laws of nature. They were being pulled by invisible hands as they extended out in every direction. It stained the surroundings air with a peculiar smell. The strands of hair thickened as they scattered into distinct strands. Beneath them, dark beams of light surged, bringing about curses and worms that flowed, rapidly fusing into pitch-black flames. Upon entering Sherman's stomach, they quickly vanished. Sherman's face twitched uncontrollably, but she didn't feel any pain. It was as though it was purely on reflex. She soon calmed down as she saw Trissie's figure turn faint and gradually turn transparent until it vanished. Sherman's pupils widened as she struggled again, but she was unable to break free from her restraints. She tried again and again, like a flood was rising centimeter by centimeter inside the silent warehouse. After an unknown period of time, the door to the warehouse opened with a thud and slammed into the two sides of the wall. A figure staggered in. It was the middle age of Viscount Stratford. Okay, it's him. He didn't wear his white wig like he always did while outside. This revealed his rather high receding hairline and rather messy black hair. The latter was stuck together as though it had been drenched by a storm and was air dried, but in the past few hours the clouds were thin and the crimson moon high in the sky. It hadn't rained at all. Drops of sweat dripped down Viscount Stratford's rather cut facial contours as they were countless black threads flowing beneath his skin. His body was slightly hunched and his facial muscles were somewhat twisted. His eyes were filled with pain and concern. He surveyed the area and said delighted when he found Tremaine. However, he turned anxious as he charred over without much confidence. You can change the music to fight music already? Really? All right, I'll trust for it. Wait, let me at least finish the page before I change. When Tremaine saw him enter the warehouse, wait, who entered? Wait, his body was slightly hunched. Wait, drops of sweat. Oh, wait. Oh, it's him, the Viscount Stratford. When Tremaine saw him enter the warehouse, his face lit up as though it was covered in a halo. She then revealed a worried and fearful expression as she attempted to shake her head frantically. However, her neck was held firmly by the spider webs that prevented her movements. Really? She reeled in anxiety to the point of tears flowing out of her eyes, drop after drop, crystalline and frail. So, I don't know, Stratford maybe does love her. And like, he probably isn't using her. Just as Viscount Stratford was about to reach her, a loud bang suddenly rang out between the two. Ooh, fight music. Is not as professional as Cammy for timing. No, it's okay. No, I got you. We'll play it now just because the fight music hit. I know what to play. I know what to play right here. I know where to play. No, not this one. Can't fucking find it. I'm just playing Volcano Bomb. Son of a bitch. You know what? No, fuck it. Let's go old school. Walls closing in. Fuck it. Walls closing in. We haven't heard Walls closing in a while. I'll just play Walls closing in. Walls closing in. Let's just play Walls closing in. Yeah, we'll play Walls closing in. Make sure it's looped. We'll play Walls closing in for old time's sake. All right, we heard the bang, so we can keep the song playing. So I think we'll be good. All right, and then music is good on that, and I think music is good for you guys. I think that's good. It's low, but not that low. It's been a long time. It's gonna be a banger. Yeah. Oh, so let me find my place. It was bang. Where was the word fucking bang? Loud bang. All right, we're going old school. We're playing Walls closing in, right? A loud bang. This was my place. A loud bang suddenly rang out between the two. Okay. So fight time. It was as though there was an invisible wall that separated him from Charmaine, one that couldn't be surpassed. It has to be Shu on fours. If you wish to break the curse and take her away, you have to answer my question without hiding anything. At this moment, a figure quickly appeared in the corner of the warehouse. Her facial features were charming, forming together into an abnormally sweet look. She resembled the lover that every young lad would fantasize about in his youth. She was none other than Demoness Trissie. Wait. Wasn't Demoness Trissie the one there? Wait. Without waiting for Viscount Stratford to respond, she raised her right hand and conjured a pitch-black flame. Okay, so it is her. Okay. Viscount Stratford's face, hands, neck, exposed skin instantly turned transparent as they protruded with blood vessels, and in every blood vessel there was a black flame silently burning as if flowed silently. The pain in Viscount Stratford's eyes immediately reached a peak, but it vanished the next moment. His expression turned extremely cold as a jibbing look appeared in his eyes. It was as though the one being cursed wasn't him, but Trissy, who was a distance away. Trissy, who was in the corner of the warehouse, suddenly burst into black flames. Dense, countless spider webs appeared, but that couldn't be lit up. In the blink of an eye, Trissy was like Charmaine, being sealed inside a transparent cocoon. Who's the one using the cocoon abilities? Every young lad dreams of. We are young lads, so she looks like what you like the most. Is that what it is? Is that an ability? She couldn't move or escape. Wait, who's the one doing the whole transparent cocoon shit? In a ventilation vent high above the warehouse, a figure appeared. Oh, it was a woman whose age wasn't obvious. She wore a simple and sacred white robe. She had black hair, blue eyes, looking sweet and beautiful, giving off an indescribable charm. Oh, it's Katerina. No, it's a joke. Oh, it's Katerina. Katerina Pele. Trissy seemed to expand all her strength before she shouted a name. At this moment, Viscount Stratford grabbed at his body, pulling out the illusory doll covered in thick black flames. Okay, awesome. It's her. Wait, let me write her name, just so I don't forget. Katerina Pele, just so I don't forget. Cocoon are the silk abilities of Demoness. I forget they have those abilities. Okay, because I'm reading cocoons, and I'm like, oh shit, the cocoons. But I know it's not that. Okay, I know it's not the cocoons from the ending of Volume 4, but I'm like, oh man, the last time we saw cocoons, it was the ending of Volume 4. He glanced, so I'm like, oh shit, where are the similarities here? You know, no such thing as a coincidence, but no, it's different. He glanced at Charmaine and smiled at Trissy. When it comes to matters related to life, I would never be careless. After that fellow Sykes died, I knew that it would be my turn one day. Huh. Since you're hunting me, it means that there are obviously others who wish to hunt you. We're very apparent afraid of scaring you away. We did nothing and waited until today. Also, your gift was pretty good. Your gift. Upon hearing Viscount Stratford's words, Charmaine, who was still struggling out of habit, instantly stopped moving. Her expression turned blank. Her eyes widened, but there wasn't any focus. The look in her eyes seemed to sink deeper and deeper. Love. Trissy suddenly laughed, seemingly mocking herself. She wasn't nervous at all. Manger Manor, night had fallen. Wait, we're just switching POVs? Demoness can use silk if you remember. I forgot about that. Manor Manor, night had fallen. After selling more than 20 guests and preparing the hunting trip the next day, Klein woke up not long after he had fallen asleep. His intuition had been triggered as a scene formed in his mind. Brigadier General Conus Kilgore, who was wearing a shirt and pants, had flown out of the guest room's window in secret. He landed outside in the complete defiance of the laws of nature. I haven't even taken action. He came here of his own goals. But with thought, Klein controlled a cockroach. I forgot he can control like freaking insects now. Without a thought, Klein controlled a cockroach outside and turned it into his marionette. He then used its eyes to observe the surroundings. Almost at the same time, Conus Kilgore appeared. After this demigod left Manor Manor, he merely distorted the distance and quickly arrived at the bank of the Tussock River. He prepared himself to cross it. The cockroach watched quietly without any reaction. He's heading for the southern bank of the Tussock River. What does he want to do? Does he have the performance of hunting in the suburbs so that he can attempt to conceal such actions? He's also introduced Manor Manor to me for this reason. Klein lay in bed and quick and seriously analyzed Conus' actions. After the MI9 demigod stepped onto the south bank of the Tussock River, Klein suddenly recalled the matter. Back when he escaped the underground ruins where Ince and... Oh, man, that was so long ago, dude. That was so long ago, dude. Back when he escaped the underground ruins where Ince, Zengwil, and company were, he appeared somewhere in the northwest of Backland. This was the south bank of the Tussock River, making it rather close to where Manor Manor was. Damn, dude. Wow, it's been so long since we've seen that one. Means of Demoness is the next chapter. All right, let's keep reading. I lied. Hold up. Before we keep reading, let me just see if my package came in already. One sec. Give me a sec. Let me just quickly check if my package came in. Let's see if the Magoose neck is here. Let me do my timestamp first. 33 minutes. 15 seconds. Let me quickly check if the package is here. Bro's locked in? We're locked in. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Okay, I think it came in. Give me one sec, guys. We still have about 50 minutes before I'm gonna end stream, so we should be able to knock out like 3 more chapters. One sec, I'll be right back. I bought a case for the Switch 2, and then the Magoose neck is here. Let me quickly put this so I can get rid of this fucking candle. I bought the 13 inches of neck, Magoose neck. So we're gonna see how it goes. If I was gonna buy the 19-inch one, but I was like, maybe I don't need to buy the 19-inch. I think 13 would be fine. But we are about to find out. Bro got his package. I hope the mailman did not have molecules. I don't know, man. Never mind. Well, I'm gonna have to return that one. 13 inches down the drain. I can't fit the 13 inches, man. 13 inches just don't fit. The 13 inches just did not want to fit. We gotta go back to the 2-incher. Oh my god! Now I can't. Fuck. Tape fixes everything. You know what? Dude, I'll be honest. I could probably just tape this bitch. Look, this was the plan. The plan was to have it like this, you know? I'll be honest, I think I could actually tape it down, man. I really think I could tape it down. And oh, dude, this would be so good, bro. Look, I can literally have it like this. Oh, that'd be so good. This is so fucking goated, bro. Look, I can literally have it like this. And then I don't have to worry about keeping. Look, my hands are so free. Fuck, man. Go ahead. Fuck, man. 13 inches down the drain. Let's just put this bitch back on. Let's keep reading. We can read about 3 more chapters. At this point, we're probably gonna read 2 more chapters. But give me a sec. Let me just put this back on. Ooh, the Magoose neck is here. The Magoose neck did not fit. I'm tilted now. My Switch 2 case better fucking fit. I'm gonna be so mad if this shit doesn't fit. I'm gonna check. We'll try it on later on stream. Yeah, but he can't make it fit. Definitely, man. Too much. It don't fit. I'm sad now. Ah, I'm so fucking pissed. My day is ruined. All right, let's keep reading. I think we're gonna do 2 more chapters. 2 more chapters. 2 more chapters. All right. Before I read this chapter, the freaking Magoose neck came in, and it just doesn't fit, bro. It's too big. I'm so fucking mad. 13 inches down the drain. Look at that. 13 inches for nothing, man. Damn, now we gotta return it. The chapter 1000. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. But my day isn't ruined because I'm streaming with you guys and we're reading more Lord of the Mysteries. So that's okay. The day has been saved. Chapter 1020 is called Means of a Demoness. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. We'll return it. Means of a Demoness. As his thoughts raced, Klein suddenly switched positions with his valet Uni, who was in the opposite room. And under a grapevine 150 meters from this manor's main building, a slowly crawling centipede suddenly stiffened before it relaxed. Almost at the same time, its body vanished from its location. Dwayne Dantes and his blue-white checkered pajama had appeared. Klein had swapped places with his marionette again. He decided to use this method to secretly tell Conis Kilgore and figure out where he was going to or what he was planning on doing. Although he could only move 150 meters at a time, it took 2 to 3 seconds in between moves due to the process of turning the target into a marionette. It was more concealing compared to the flame jump or teleport. It made it difficult for Conis Kilgore to detect him. After all, he was dealing with a demigod. He's dealing with another fucking demigod fight, dude. Oh shit, after all, it's a demigod, dude. After all, he was dealing with a demigod. Even in the domains where one's spiritual intuition wasn't the best, a demigod wasn't to be underestimated. By the same logic, Klein didn't rely on creeping hunger to hide in the shadows. This was because it was relatively slow, even though it concealed him rather well. It was impossible for him to catch up to the demigod. I like this fight. Really? Damn. All right. Under the dark night sky for Maynard Manor to the south bank of the Tussock Rivers, the rats, snakes, spiders, and there were active, and the stench of land stiffened up and turned sluggish. They were covered in marionettes, one after another. With their help, Klein constantly moved without causing a stir. Soon he arrived in the south bank of the Tussock River. After catching up to Conus Kilgore, he maintained a distance of 1 kilometer. The fuck is a kilometer, man? I know. Isn't kilometer twice? 1 kilometer? No. Wait, hold up. When I played Pokemon Go, instead of 1 kilometer is like 2.1 miles. No. Or is it backwards? Shit, man. I don't know my kilometers. I know my miles, okay? I don't know if one is 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. To a bizarre sorcerer, even if his marionette were to go beyond his range of control, it wouldn't immediately escape from its control state or die immediately. 1 kilometer is 1.6 miles, I think. Isn't it 2? It's like 3 liters, man. Come on. 3 liters. It's about... What's a liter? I know my gallons, okay? I only know American units, okay? I don't know the other sides of the world's units, okay? I know American units, and that's it. Therefore, Klein wasn't worried that he would lose Uni when he was lying in bed. While he did his tailing, as long as he returned with 10 meters, he could continue controlling his marionette. Silently, Klein followed Conus Kilder as they went upstairs, passing through the dense forest. They climbed up a mountain beside the bank. At this moment, Conus Kilder, who wasn't wearing a vest or coat, suddenly stopped. He checked his surroundings and widened his range of his search, as though he was trying to claim his territory. Upon seeing this, Klein didn't dare to stay any longer. He merely switched places with his marionettes and retreated repeatedly, pulling away to a distance of nearly 3 kilometers from a deputy director of MI9. At this moment, he gave up control of his marionettes ahead of him. The death of a few bugs wouldn't incur any suspicion. This was all too common for the outskirts and in the forests. King of the Five Seas Nests can create a founding environment that's favorable for him, while Conus Kilgore, who was also a Black Emperor pathway demigod, had the ability to democrate such a region. Damn, dude. No, I'm wrong. I think a mile is 1.6 kilometers. Got it. Yeah, I googled it. A mile is 1.6 kilometers. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So what would I do about you guys? He can change, boost, and use a certain rule and make whoever tells him expose themselves without being able to hide. It's very possible. Klein worthily took out a gold coin he placed in his pajama pocket. He ran it through his fingers and flipped it. This time he deliberately controlled his strength and didn't produce a flicking sound. So it's silent. So there's no sound, it's just silent. The gold coin flew up in silence and landed on his palm. That's fucking cool. Without needing to look down, the gold coin's face was naturally reflected in his mind. It was heads. This meant that the anomaly ahead contained extreme danger. Alright. As expected of demigods, such abilities sure are enviable. However, do you think you can avoid being tailing? Klein scoffed inwardly and found an abnormally secluded spot and made himself turn into German Sparrow. Following that, he clasped his hands and pressed it into his mouth, whispering, "Blessed of the sea and spirit world, guardian of the Roasted Archipelago, ruler of the undersea creatures, master of tsunamis and storms, the great Kalvatua." After praying, Klein immediately lowers the volume on stream just a smidge. After praying, Klein immediately took 4 steps counterclockwise and arrived above the Great Fog. He sat at a full seat and beckoned for the bone specter with blue gems embedded at its tip. This, with the help of his prayer, he utilized Sea God Scepter, responding to believers and saw through the area around Germansboro. He then raised his field of view and took in the surrounding area. Using this as the origin, he expanded his vision to 5 nocturnal miles. This was the limit of the Sea God Spectre could observe with the help of its believers. And this way, the area where Conus Kilgore had designated one that no object could escape his notice appeared in Klein's vision. In the dock area inside a warehouse with plenty of goods. I scrolled down too much. Love. Okay, so we're going back to Tristy. Dude, thank you for subscribing. Love. After Tristy chuckled, her figure grew faint, and though she was bathed in the luster of a lake at night. In the blink of an eye, Tristy, who had been bound tightly with layers of silk by demoness of unaging Katerina Pele, turned into an illusory mirror. It was a full body. Wait, she can turn into a Rhodes? Wait, is this where a Rhodes abilities come from? turned into an illusionary mirror. It was a full-body mirror, taller than a person. Aku's light shimmered within, a ghostly halo grew out of it as though it was a door leading to another world. At that moment, it didn't reflect the scene in front of him. In front of it, instead, it outlined a room. The room was dimly lit. The bed with furniture had been diced up into countless small pieces, which were scattered everywhere. Only the central region was spick and span? Spick. What the hell is a spick? Spick and span. Trissy stood there wearing a dark black dress, her hair cascaded down smoothly as it fluttered in the wind. Accentuating her face abnormal fairness, she looked like a female ghost and spoken in folktales. She wasn't actually present and was using the illusionary mirror to project her figure and strength remotely. It was as though everything was real, therefore she wasn't flustered at all when she was being controlled and haunted. Upon seeing the scene, Katerina Pele, who wore simple and holy white robes, didn't hesitate to let out a shriek. Invisible waves quickly spread out as her hair flared up, each strand clear and distinct. They were thick and dyed with grayish-white color. The illusionary full-body mirror suddenly vibrated, and she shook as though it was on the brink of breaking apart. And in the messy room, it reflected. Fragments of the bed, desk, and chairs turned gray-white, losing their luster through were rocks. The brownish-yellow floor in front of Trissy turned into grayish-white rocks as it quickly extended towards the only human in the room like a surging tidal wave. Trissy didn't attempt to resist as she turned around and waved her hand back while leaping towards the open window. In the midair, invisible spider webs that belonged to her phased into existence. They turned dark as they turned towards the grayish-white color. At the same time, the dark and profound full-body mirror produced one crack after another. Amidst illusory shattering sounds, it broke apart and vanished. However, before the full-body mirror completely vanished, the grayish-white colors receded into strange manner inside the petrified room, materializing into a figure. The figure wore a simple holy white robe. This is somebody else. Holy white robe and had luscious raven black hair. She looked both mature and innocent. Oh, it's Pele. As though she had a pair of profounded and childlike blue eyes. She was the demoness of an aging Katerina who had just been inside the warehouse a moment ago. Okay, so she's back. Have a good stream, buddy. You're gonna go to bed? Yo, wait, what time is it for you? Isn't it late? Yeah, I'm so sorry for overlapping with you, dude. People were saying I assassinated you right there. Like, oh, he drank the assassin potion. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to overlap with you. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna stream for like an hour or two before I head out. I'm sorry, dude. I apologize. I lost my place. I found my place. Viscount Stratford, are we recording? Yes. Viscount Stratford could no longer see the situation inside the opposite room once the ghostly glow dissipated. He retracted his gaze and cast it on Charmaine. It's barely 10:30, man, if it ain't that late. He wore a mixed look in his eyes before he recovered. Trish really was patient to deal with me. To deal with me, she actually spent months to nurture a new demoness. Viscount Stratford shook his head with a chuckle. What does she want you to gain from me? At that moment, with Trissie's connection being severed, the spider webs around Charmaine had loosened. They were unable to bind her and restrict her freedom, so she's free. This beautiful girl wore a blank expression as she replied with a vacant look in her eyes. She wanted me to know who you are truly loyal to. Without waiting for Viscount Stratford to say a word, she asked hesitantly, her eyes making it obvious that she had difficulty finding her words. How many of those promises that you made to me were real? Viscount Stratford was taken aback before he chuckled. You're probably the most silly and most naive demoness I've ever met. Oh, shit! Stratford knew, dude! Oh, shit! He knew the whole time. He knew the whole time Charmaine was Sherman. You're probably the most silly and most naive demoness I've ever met. Charmaine's expression froze on her face as the glimmer in her eyes that she found so hard to regain faded bit by bit. Outside the warehouse, Shield and Force were hiding in the shadows, observing the silent target area. So they're seeing everything go down. Oh, shit. They had followed Viscount Stratford here. Their patience had paid off as they discovered their captain and royal guard secretly leaving his mansion the deed of the night. Rushing to the dock area near the Backland Bridge, using Shield's power as a sheriff, they followed him all the way here by keeping a huge distance between them. They had also confirmed that they had entered the warehouse in front of them. In addition, poor Charmaine, I feel bad for her. I think Viscount might forgive her. Like, oh, it's like, no, like, I still love you. Maybe he was being honest with Charmaine. In addition, they also sensed that Viscount Stratford's condition had worsened as though he had been injured. Maybe not. Actually, we had the opportunity to take action while on our way. Force looked at the warehouse entrance and murmured. Shiro replied without looking at her, but you said it yourself that you have a nagging feeling that things aren't that simple and wanted to wait. Probably not then. This might be the intuition of an astrologer. It might also be an act of procrastination. Force replied in a self-deprecating manner. They didn't say anything more as silence ruled once more. They continued waiting patiently. At this moment, a pitch-black flame was ignited on the rammed earth in front of them. She's probably one of my favorite side characters. Really? Oh, shit. Hell yeah. At this moment, a pitch black flame was ignited on the rammed earth in front of them. The strange flames rapidly dispersed and kept close to the ground as it swept away. It then outlined a row of luminous text. This is a chance you've been looking for. Shields and Forrest, pupils dilated at the same time. Then they look at each other at a loss for words. After a few seconds, Forrest finally couldn't help but ask, "What do? We go in. We go in and take him out." Chapter 1021 is called Cross. This might be our last chapter. Heads up, this is probably gonna be our last chapter. Yeah, this is actually probably gonna be our last chapter. Let me just do my timestamp. Yeah, because I do have to go out with the missus in like 30 minutes. So I think this is gonna be the last chapter, and then tomorrow I'll be back for more. So we're still good. Okay. Dude, I want to fucking beat Hollow Knight, man. I want to keep playing it. Just because fucking Silk Song comes out in 2 weeks, I'm like, I should play it. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to give up like a week's worth of reading. It's good to make small but consistent progression. Yeah, that's why I figured 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So we read like 30 chapters this week. I know it's not as much as we used to, but we still read a good amount. Fuck, man. I wish the goose neck fit. Yeah, we're gonna have to return it. We made some fresh watermelon. Shit slaps, man. Just got that juicer. Came out good, man. All right, let's keep going. Then you got strain it. Man, that shit's good. All right, 44:19. All right, last chapter. 1021. Magoo schemed against you. You started a lot of novels. Can you keep up with all of them? I mean, Shadow Slave is only going to be once a week. And Soul Forge doesn't come back until November. So it's okay. So I'm good on that. And I know by November, I know by November I should be done with Lord of the Mysteries. So I'm good. I'm pretty sure I'll be done. I'm pretty confident I'm done with Lord of the Mysteries by the time those are out. So I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. No, I think we're good, Merlin. I was just reading those on the side. I think I'm treating my Sundays right now as like catch-up days. And then Tuesdays I read LEC the second it drops. You got to keep the notes, man. Dude, I haven't taken notes, man. I haven't had time to take notes off stream. I used to, right? Like, I copied and pasted all the notes D and everybody else from Romero helped me put in the lore management section. You're gonna get confused. Like, I put all the notes in the lore management section from volume 4 into my notes, but I never actually ended up organizing them just because I didn't have time. And then I haven't taken any for volume 5. At least as of right now, from what I remember. I'll double check, but I think that's where I'm at right now. One sec, let me turn off my night filter. I mean, also see if I can do some slight progressions, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep up, man. Yeah, like it just became a timing thing. I don't know if I can keep up anymore. I keep for you easy. No, I know. I see everything on the Lord Discord section, and like I'll paste it, but I haven't had time to organize it off stream. Just to like make it quicker to find things rather than like seeing things chronologically, as it happens in the chapters. But no, I know. I still see them, dude. Like, no, I know. Thank you for everything, dude. But yeah, I haven't had time to like organize everything off stream, to lore, characters, regions, IE, etc., and all that. But this is gonna be our last chapter for today. All right, chapter 1021. Yeah, so we're gonna do a quick, short 5-chapter stream, and that way we're just doing 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So I think this is good. With this, we've did like 30 chapters this week, and hopefully next week we read more, since I think I'm gonna have Saturday and Sunday off. Chapter 1021. Fingers crossed. Shio hesitated when she heard Forrest's question, and I'm questioning myself. Timestamp, recording, notes, check. Awesome. Shio hesitated when she heard Forrest's question. We were discovered. They had said something similar before, but they were repeating it again now. However, it didn't have the same meaning. Previously, it was referring to being discovered by the guarding or monitor when she recognized Sherman. Now, with the crux of the matter... Oh, no. Scratch that. 15 minutes. Scratch that. We're done in 15 minutes. Scratch that. We're done in 15 minutes. She wants to go shopping and buy some stuff before the week ends a little bit earlier. All right, so she called me. Thank you for calling me. This meant that Shio had a chance. Let me read this part, just since I got the phone call and we have to end stream 15 minutes early. They had said something similar before, but they were repeating it again. However, it didn't have the same meaning. Previously, it was referring to be discovered by the guarding or monitor when she recognized Sherman. Now, the crux of the matter, that was their choice. The corresponding actions were expected and arranged by the person behind the scenes. They had no secrets to speak of. This meant that the chance Shio had been longing for might have really appeared, but what lay behind this matter was inconvincible. If we follow the intention behind this message, the final outcome would depend on whether she had good intentions, but that's not something under our control. Shio added for a rational angle. The reason why she had used in quotation "she" to represent the person behind the scenes was because she had recalled the fragrance she smelled when she lost Sherman the other time. Oh. Forrest listened quietly and nodded in agreement. Yes, we're too passive in this matter. The best option is to leave this place. As soon as she finished speaking, she looked at the warehouse. She opened her mouth but didn't say anything further. She remained on the possible situation Sherman was in and suspected that he was in grave danger. However, she deliberately ignored it in the end and didn't mention it. To her, Sherman was a person who existed in Shio's description. He was no different from a character in a novel. That's such a weird way to depict people. It was no different from a character in a novel. If she had the strength and opportunity to save him in passing, she was willing to do so, but to bear the risk to become that of the allow her friend to be rash, putting her life in danger was definitely not something within her considerations. Shio nodded and said, "All right, we'll leave now." However, the person who left the comet definitely wouldn't be happy to see us do so. She would definitely hinder us. Let's do it this way. We'll escape in different directions and make the person choose one person. That's not a good idea. Whoever successfully leaves the area would immediately cause a commotion and attract the official beyonders. Okay, so that's a good way to escape. She is an author after all. I guess from her point of view, I guess that does make sense since she's an author. Why don't we directly cause a commotion here? Forrest subconsciously raised the question. It will definitely be stopped or foiled. Shio gave her excuse. Forrest nodded thoughtfully. Makes sense. All right, let's not delay it any further. Let's begin. Shio didn't say another word as she took out her transparent, nearly invisible triangular blade. With her back bent, she leapt out of her hiding spot and ran out of the harbor amidst shadows. The triangular blade was a mystical item she had spent 500 pounds through the Mam Hermit to get the artisan to forge with the ancient raves. Powder, and remnant spirituality. It was called Wintry Blade. Anyone hit by this weapon, even if it was a gentle touch, would be frozen stiff. They would even lose control over the thoughts as though they were possessed by a wraith. At the same time, once the battle continued, Wintry Blade's enemies would gradually have their thoughts turn sluggish and their actions become rigid and dull, even if they didn't touch the triangular blade. And Winter Blade's negative effects wasn't that terrifying. Furthermore, there was only one, the wielder, who slowly lost her body temperature and transformed into an undead. Once a certain time limit was exceeded, this process would become irreversible. Therefore, Shio had recently enjoyed jogging more or riding a bicycle at lightning speeds to generate heat to resist the loss of temperature. But even so, she had only managed to extend the time it took before she kept the Wintry Blade away from her body for 3 hours to 4 hours. After running a certain distance, Shio turned back and realized that Force had already passed through a wall and departed. She had vanished from where they were hiding. After staring for 2 seconds, Shio bit her lip and suddenly turned around and changed directions. She headed straight for the warehouse. Soon she arrived beside her destination, but she wasn't in a rush to enter. She looked up and observed the area above her, seemingly trying to find another passageway, one that was less noticeable to the people inside. At that moment, her keen senses made her turn her head and see a figure appear around the corner of her wall. Ooh. The figure wore a black... Oh, it's Katarina. The figure wore a black dress with a head of brown, curly hair. She had a pair of light blue eyes. It was none other than Forrest. Well, oh, it's Forrest. Didn't you leave? Despite being surprised, Shio... Wait, no. But the dress. Isn't that Pele's dress? Didn't you leave? Despite being surprised, Shio didn't forget to lower her voice. Forrest curled her lips and said, "Weren't you fleeing too?" She was momentarily lost for words. Hold up. I feel like we're playing Among Us here. After a few seconds, she asked, "How did you notice it? You didn't even mention Sherman. That's completely unlike you. I've already prepared a reason to persuade you." Forrest quickly replied. Shio was taken aback as she said with complete expression, "You didn't have to come back." Forrest ignored her and pressed on the wall of the warehouse and said, "If you keep talking, perhaps we'll no longer need to be stumbled because it would already be over." Man, I actually didn't think of such a good idea. I actually didn't think of such a good idea just now. I should have immediately insisted on going with you to save her. You definitely would have persuaded me otherwise, and would think of doing it yourself. If we repeated the conversation a few times, everything would have ended on its own. Shio gave her friend a look and without hesitantly stood by her side with wintry blade in hand. Force immediately flipped Layman Travels and augmented her friend with beyond her powers. That's cool, dude. Now she's being like the support role, augmenting her. Then she put away the spellbook and grabbed Shio's shoulder with one hand, pressing on the other of the wall again. While Shio was waiting for the door opening, she realized that Force hadn't immediately used her powers. This best-selling author took a deep breath and quickly said, after entering, we'll hide and observe. After confirming that there's a chance to do something, we'll take action. If there's really no chance, or if we can't seize the opportunity for sure, we'll leave as soon as possible. That way, we can at least avenge Sherman and not be buried alive with him. Only by being alive with all kinds of possibilities open up for us, Shio immediately nodded and replied in a stern manner. Fuck. Force wants to say a few more words, but considering how she wasted so much time and couldn't afford to waste any more time, she opened an illusory door and passed through the wall with Shio coming behind a row of wooden crates. With her no longer being Greenhorn in such operations, she instinctively crouched down and pulled out Layman Travels and flipped to a particular page. Shio similarly didn't dash in. She bent down and moved her eyes to a gap between the crates and observed the empty region. The female-looking Sherman was sitting on a wooden crate without any signs of anger. Her brown hair was gently fluttering in the wind. At the standing in front of her was Viscount Stratford. This captain of the Royal Guards tightened his collar and was surveying the area, a mystery as to what he was looking for. Unfortunately, you're only a demoness. Don't worry, I will let you die without any pain. What the fuck? You will be completely purified? Wait. What? No, now I feel bad for Shermaine. You will be completely purified. As he spoke, he took out an item from his inner pocket. Shio used her enhanced vision from the interrogator potion, and she clearly identified the item. It was a cross accessory covered in bronze. There were a few sharp, jagged protrusions looking as though it had once impaled someone. Its style and characteristics were things that the various nations in the Fifth Epoch Northern Continent didn't possess. It exuded ancient vibes. Okay. Very good. You know the resistance is futile. Viscount Stratford said as he pressed one finger. Okay, Viscount Stratford is actually a piece of shit. Said as he pressed one of his fingers and he used to hold the bronze cross onto its spike. His bright red blood immediately flowed out of it and absorbed by the spike, seeping into the object. The mottled bronze on the cross's surface designated, revealing a corporeal form beneath that was a blob of light. In just a second or two, this item Viscount Stratford held, turning into a resplendent cross. Combine all three of Chad's brain cells together and get this man to do something. Wait, what do you mean, dude? Why didn't anyone tell me Badoon was alive? It was unplanned. The mottled bronze on the cross's surface disintegrated, revealing corporeal form beneath that was a blob of light. In just a second or two, the item Viscount Stratford held had turned into a resplendent cross. It emitted a pure and flawless glow, illuminating the surroundings in an abnormally bright manner. The wooden crate shadows quickly receded as the dark splotch on the walls evaporated like water. Concoct a potion live? We're gonna make something live. Beside Shermaine, the countless spiders' webs that originally belonged to Tristy floated up and struggled in the fire, melting just a mere second. The light grew brighter, but they weren't blinding. Black flames burst onto Shermaine's body along with crystalline eyes. They turned dim, transparent, and eventually vanished under the illumination. Within the range of their spelling cross, there weren't any traces of evil abnormalities present. Not 1 inch of darkness remained. Seeing Shermaine's expression slowly distort, Shio couldn't help but shoot Force a glance. She could clearly sense the terror of the resplendent cross. She was beginning to waver about saving her. Force also noticed that what was happening and pointed to Layman Travels. She raised her left index finger and whispered into Shio's ears. There's only one chance. I will work hard to create it for you. If not successful, or if you can't be certain of it, we will give up. And then we gotta get out. Shio didn't hesitate as she nodded solemnly. You know what? I do respect that. She's like, we'll try and save Shermaine once, and if it doesn't happen, we're gonna leave because it's too dangerous. Shio didn't hesitate as she nodded solemnly. Force immediately straightened her body. This is so cool, dude, that they're fucking fighting together. This is so cool, dude. Compared to Volume 1, where they were just doing recon on Quillingas, this is cool. Force immediately straightened... Shio didn't hesitate as she nodded solemnly. Force immediately straightened her body and flipped Layman's Travels to a charred yellow page. So this is a demigod spell. This page was filled with complicated, twisted, indescribable symbols and labels. It gave one the feeling of a strong gust of wind. Sailor's Pathway, demigod power, hurricane. Oh, shit, dude. Dude, Force actually low-key got strong now. What the fuck, dude? They're getting strong. After observing her surroundings once again and confirming that there weren't any other enemies, Four's gaze penetrated through the gap in between the wooden crates and locked onto Viscount Strafford. She then slid her fingers gently across the shard yellow page. With an exploding whoosh, a visible hurricane soared up beneath Viscount Strafford's feet and rushed upwards. Does that kill him? The captain of the Royal Guards wasn't able to maintain his balance from this sudden attack. He was lifted up by the hurricane and slammed into the warehouse ceiling. Did he die? Boom. Please tell me like he just splatted and it's over. The warehouse's ceiling was torn apart by the hurricane as portions of it collapsed. Some of the fragments spun around amidst the wind as they flew higher and higher. Viscount Strafford nearly fainted from being slammed as he failed to hold onto the splendid cross, allowing it to fly out of his palm. So they got separated. When the spike with a sliver of his blood left his finger, the mottled bronze covered the cross surface once more. The flawless light vanished in turn. Upon seeing this, she didn't hesitate to rush out of her hiding spot. Her eyes first reflected Viscount Strafford's figure before two blinding bolts of lightning lit up. Psychic piercing? Wait. Is the psychic piercing another one of Four's abilities that Audrey recorded? Easy subconscious is trying its hardest to ignore my nonsense. How'd you know? You're good on Hinge. You're good. It's good. I don't fall for the bait that much anymore, huh? All right, let's do overall thoughts. Overall thoughts. We are going to keep it short. I am kind of mad we left off on a cliffhanger. But it is what it is. All right, do timestamp. No, you're good. The only reason, I'll be honest, the only reason I wasn't reading chat that much is because I need to leave in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna go out with Mrs. right now. I got 2 minutes before we gotta dip. So I was like, I'm gonna kind of speed through this and not read Unhinged messages just yet. This man hates his viewers. No, I wasn't hating you. I wasn't trying to hate you guys. It was a little unplanned. We only went live for a little over an hour and we just knocked out a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters. A quick, short 5 and sweet stream. Shio and Forge team up was not on my bingo list for this volume, but I'll take it. I think it's pretty cool, especially after we saw the OVA for next year with Shio and Forge using the door to escape Quillingus. It was pretty cool. And then seeing them fight, like seeing the progression from escaping from Quillingus to this fight, it's so fucking cool. Like it is so warranted and earned, man. Like they have come such a long way after 1,000 chapters, right? 1,000 crazy chapters. We've come such a long way, man. Like they have leveled up so much and I fucking love it. And now they're both freaking part of the Terror Club. I love it. It's so good. Not enough. Don't worry. It will continue tomorrow. Don't worry. Tomorrow we will resume. I got you guys. We'll resume tomorrow. I got you guys tomorrow. All right, but just quick, short 5 sweet chapters. I'm gonna end stream quickly because I am running out of memory space. I have to back all this shit up on the cloud so I make more space on my PC because I have not bought in an extra SSD, so I'm running out of space. So that's why streams were a little bit short. Bye, everyone. But yeah, you have also leveled up. We don't get as many Badoons anymore. Yeah, you know what? That's also true. The only time I do mess up is when I'm not in streamer mode and I had a long day. Whenever I have a long day and I don't go to the gym or I messed up my sleep schedule, like when my day hasn't flown perfectly and I'm not in streamer mode, I do Badoon right there. I do mess up quite a bit. But when I'm locked in, I'm good. I don't think I was necessarily locked in today. I don't know. I was, since it was a little bit last minute, I felt a little bit rushed since I got to head out with the missus right now as I'm getting messages. But it's okay. We'll be back tomorrow for more Lord of the Mysteries. Peace. Have a beautiful day. And I will see all you beautiful, loving readers tomorrow for our another... Oh, tomorrow's Monday. So tomorrow will be our Tarot Club Monday. So I'm going to see you guys all very soon. Peace. And have a beautiful day. And also feel free to check up our videos that we're uploading today. I think Soul Forge goes up in 4 hours and 15 minutes. I think Reverend Insanity goes up in 15 minutes from the live stream. There should be 2 more videos that go up in the next 4 hours. And then I also have this uploaded 4 hours after that. Peace. Have a beautiful day. Later, guys. Look at that. I ended that super smoothly. That was so cool. Look at that. Thank you, Stream Deck.